Alright, this is Andrew at Jota Home Inspections. We are here in Provo today, December 30th, 2025, doing a sewer scope. We're at 1460 East, 520 South. We have the camera pushed out 97 feet to the city connection. So that's the city line that you're seeing on the screen there. Now we're going to pull it back and record it and see what we find. So right off the bat, little bit of an offset. This first connection point is called the nose on. There's a little bit of a lip, maybe a small broken piece on the left side. Most likely not the kind of thing that would cause an immediate concern. If it continued to break off, that could cause an issue, but right now it still looks functional. This looks like transite pipe, which is cement asbestos. Another little bit of an offset there. When you have an offset, you have a little shoulder that waste could get stuck on, and if enough waste gets stuck, it can create a blockage where it backs up. And that also looks like a clean out. And so you can see how there's an opening on the top of the pipe that goes up to roughly ground level. Sometimes they're cut off and buried, which is probably the case here because I didn't see one outside, but it looks like you do have a clean out. It's looking like you have very good grade. I'm not seeing any standing water so far. Now we're transitioning to some cast iron, which already right off the bat looks pretty rough. I would definitely recommend having this descaled, where they use a tool that'll cut off all that scale and rust. And that would make it a lot smoother, and that would prevent waste from getting stuck. Already you can see little pieces of toilet paper getting stuck, and with a lot of use you can completely block a line. Definitely want to avoid putting wet wipes down this line, because those aren't going to break down and fall off the same way toilet paper will. But I would certainly recommend having this line cleaned and then evaluate it again. There's a lot that I can point out and that I can see, but I can't see through the rust, and so we don't know if there's cracks that are concealed. Eventually cast iron will need to be replaced. This house is old enough that I've definitely seen houses of this same age that have already replaced their lines, but I also see houses from the 1920s that have lines that are working just fine. Next step here I would recommend is getting the line cleaned, and then I'd also recommend the insurance on the line, and that would help offset the cost if or when there's any other issues in the future. The insurance, at least the one through HomeServe, which is the more common one around here, they don't cover what's under the house, and so that wouldn't cover where it's buried underneath the house, only through the yard. Luckily this house has a crawl space, and so it's much easier to get to than, I mean, it's still difficult, but it's much easier than if you were to have a basement with a finished area above it. I'm going to end this recording now.